For me, the word overrated is starting to become overrated and overused. What is overrated exactly? When something gets too much praise or doesn't deserve the praise or the rating that it's received. I'm sure you can tell about the title what we're going to be talking about, which is Final Fantasy VII, and whether or not it's overrated. I was having a conversation with a friend of mine the other day, and we got on the topic of movies, and Star Wars came up. And he was like, no, I'm not really a big fan of Star Wars. He was like, whoa, don't get it twisted. I think Star Wars is a great franchise. It's a great movie. So I'm not gonna call it overrated or say it sucks or anything like that. But it's just not my cup of tea. And I was like, I can respect that. I respect that. So why can't people take the same stance with, other things that, really do deserve the praise they get? Because I know that there's a lot of things that are popular and they really shouldn't be popular. Like, there's no reason why they should, deserve the praise that they're getting. But, some things do get really popular and they are really, really good. And, people come out and they, get their cool kid hats on. That sucks. Everybody likes that. I don't see why. Blah, blah, blah. And it's like, really? Like, calm down. Just say you don't like it. If you don't like it and everybody else like it, just say, it's not my thing, But, yeah. Final Fantasy VII. You have to excuse me, I don't have the jewel case because it was a little bit too well loved. Growing up, when I was a kid, I would take it to school. Of course, not with the game discs actually in it, but I would take the case and the booklet to school, and I'd be, showing my friends, hey man, you gotta get this game. This is that stuff right here, But yeah, it came out on the PlayStation 1. It was one of the first of its kind. It was the first Final Fantasy to enter the 3D realm, and it did a lot of new things in terms of visuals and story that the other Final Fantasies didn't. People went to the store, bought it, picked it up, they played it, and they loved it. And people talked about this game for a long time. Even after the other Final Fantasies in the series release, people still talked about this game and they loved it. People actually went out and got it and played it and they loved it and they talked about it. People still want a remake to this game, Square. Stop being scared. Just do it. And if you're going to do it right. No DLC. But I digress. Now, what makes a game overrated? Well, let's look at these two titles. Assassin's Creed 3 and BioShock Infinite. Did I say 3 titles? Excuse me, I meant 2. These 2 titles. But yeah, Assassin's Creed 3 and BioShock Infinite. Now, what did we see before these 2 games released? In commercials and video article or reviews and articles on the internet and things of that nature and commercials. IGN says this game is absolutely amazing. 10 out of 10. GameSpot says this game is so good it'll make your toes curl. 10 out of 10. Game Informer says this game is so good it'll take your dogs and cats out for a walk. 5 out of 5. And when the games came out, they weren't really that good. Now, BioShock Infinite, on the other hand, is a good game. It's good. I liked it. I enjoyed it a whole lot. But, compared to the first 2 games in the franchise, gameplay wise, because that's really why we play games, is to the gameplay mechanics and things of that nature. Had a lot more to offer than this game combat-wise. Now, in these two games, you had your plasmids and your weaponry. And you had access to all of your plasmids and all of your weaponry at the same time. So this game gave you a lot of experimentation when it came to combining different powers with different weapons. You know, your different powers had different effects, and different weapons, you know, you had your machine guns, your pistols, you know, your rocket launcher and things of that nature. And you know, you could combine your weapons, mix and match, and get different effects and do different things of that nature. So you could really experiment with the combat system in this game. Well, with BioShock Infinite, you had access to all of your vigors, which is this game's version of the first two games' plasmids, and you could only carry 2 weapons with you. And what was really odd is all of the weapons in the game were upgradable. And the way you had to switch out weapons was, you know, either pick them up off of a dead enemy, or either they were at different positions throughout the world. You know, you could go and pick them up. They had pickup spots for the different weapons, but you could only take 2. So this game kind of, you know, takes a step back from the experimentation standpoint, which I think holds the combat in this game back. Also, this game was a lot easier than the other 2 games combat-wise. So, you know, for me, it's just not as good as the other ones in terms of gameplay. Now, I did enjoy this game a bit more story-wise and visually than the other 2 games, but just because of the gameplay mechanics, I have to take points off. Now, it's a good game. It is good. People do like it, but the way they marketed this game and the amount of praise it got before it was released, that makes it overrated, in my opinion. So, yeah, there you have it. Now, I know, you know, the Final Fantasy VII fan base is a little bit saturated right now. And here's why it's saturated, because the game had so many spin-offs, and fortunately and unfortunately, it had a movie spin-off, which allowed a lot of people who were, you know, on the outside looking in to actually come in and, you know, pretend like they were Final Fantasy fans. So, you know, Final Fantasy VII Advent Children, and of course, the Complete Edition, which is this version is the definitive version of Advent Children. If you're going to watch Advent Children, please go get the Complete Edition, the Blu-ray, and watch it. It is a lot more coherent and way more consistent than the first film. This film did a lot of jumping around to different scenes. This movie actually adds a whole lot of extra content. You know how when movies come out and they're like, oh, this is the Complete Edition, it has bonus content, and it's really not bonus content? No. This movie actually has, how many extra scenes did it say? It said 26 minutes of explosive new footage. Excuse me, I cannot read or speak this evening. Goodness. But, yes, 26 minutes of new footage. It really does have 26 minutes of new footage. It may be more than 26 minutes. But, yes, and it helps make scenes and things move along a whole lot more nicely. So, yes, definitely go check this out. But, yes, this movie allowed people who never played the game to come in and say, oh, yeah, I love Final Fantasy VII, even though they've never played the game in their life. Yeah, Cloud is the best. Oh my gosh, yes, he's so awesome. Blah, blah. So I know that, you know, for other fans of other Final Fantasy titles, you know, that can be kind of annoying to see, because, you know, your favorite game might be another game in the franchise, and, you know, you may not care for Final Fantasy VII as much, and so because it gets so much attention and so many people, you know, are hopping on the bandwagon talking about how great it is, you know, I understand how that could be annoying. But please, man, just give credit where credit is due. Like I said, people bought this game, people loved it, and people talked about it for a very long time, and people still talk about it to this day. It earned its praise. It is not overrated. If you don't like it, just say, it's not my thing. You know, I think this one is a better one. You know, I can deal with that. That's really all I have, but, you know, I had these 2 games out, and so I just want to talk about them real quick. Unfortunately, we got this game. And this game is butt sweat. This game, Square, what were you thinking when you did this? My goodness. I would like to see this game redone, you know, a reboot of this game, but actually done with, you know, get the help of somebody who actually does, like, third-person shooters. This game could have potential to be very awesome, but, you know, in the state that it is on this disc, the game is, ugh. And then we got Crisis Core, which is another game that people picked up and people loved. You know, people loved this game. And I think this is another, you know, Final Fantasy VII spin-off that actually deserves the praise that it got. So yeah, I just wanted to do a fun video, you know, because I've been doing a lot of serious topics and things of that nature. And I've been wanting to do a Metal Gear video, my thoughts on the Metal Gear franchise, because that's like one of, if not my favorite franchise of all time, next to Final Fantasy and Sonic the Hedgehog. Sonic because that's the game that really got me into gaming, but that's neither here nor there. Hopefully I'll get to it for you guys in the future and we can have some laughs and some fun rather than doing serious topics over and over again, but you know, I gotta handle stuff as it comes out. Speaking of which, there's a Microsoft video I need to do. And there was something stupid that Sony said. Can't remember what it was right now, but it's been Omni. I am out of here. Till next time, take care of yourselves and each other. Merry Christmas!